Hello?
Oh my god, Jude, dinosaurs are real.
Oh dear God.
No, I'm being serious.
This is gonna be one of your stupid movies.
No, it's not another one of my stupid movies. I got this DVD, and I can prove it to you that they're real.
That's not possible. We didn't have cameras there, Joey. We weren't even there. It's not possible.
Technology? What do you... No, dinosaurs are real. I have the footage to prove it. Come on, come over, I'll show it to you. You won't be disappointed.
Okay. I'll be there at 10.
Alright, talk to you later. You ready, Jude? Go.
Let's get this thing over with.
Hey, June, what's that?
It's gonna help me get through this movie. Joey, those aren't real, you know that, right?
What?
They're claymations. They're clay models that people made to look like dinosaurs.
No.
I'm so pointless.
Hello there, YouTube. I'm the Launchetti Reviewer, and today I'm concluding Willis O'Brien Week with this week's installment of Silent Film Saturday. This silent film is important for a few reasons. Of course, it has revolutionary special effects that predate King Kong by 8 years, although those 8 years did a lot for King Kong and little for The Lost World, and was the first silent film I ever watched. So let us get into The Lost World. Okay, so this is the packaging for the Lost World DVD, and I like the cover, except it's a bit misleading, and if you've seen the film, you will understand what I'm trying to say here. And there's a this is the restoration of the 1925 film, so let me just take a look at this, and look at the back. Now, it doesn't state the bonus features on the back of this packaging. I don't know if anybody else had this problem. Total running time is 93 minutes, and yeah, so that is the packaging for The Lost World. However, I will talk about the supplements. As for the supplements to this edition of The Lost World, it includes an audio commentary by Roy Pilot, who co-authored the annotated Lost World, the book version of this film, which was written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who also created Sherlock Holmes. And when I watched this commentary, I thought it was interesting to learn that Conan Doyle really liked the character of Professor Challenger, here played by Wallace Beery, and he used him in a few of his books. And a lot of people like to think, oh, wasn't his favorite creation Sherlock Holmes? And that doesn't seem to be the case by research. It just seems like a way that he could, earn bread. And that's kind of cool. It's an example of an artist appreciating a character that is not their most important character, which I always think is interesting. Now, for the Roy Pilot commentary track, It is very informative, if a bit dry. You might not want to be tired because he is a little dry, but it's a very informative commentary track. There are also some animation outtakes of The Lost World included in this package. There is a stills gallery of posters and production stills and all that sort of stuff. And there are 2 musical scores, one by the Alloy Orchestra and the other one by Robert Israel, which is a more traditional musical score. I have not listened to the Robert Israel score, but the Alloy Orchestra score is pretty decent. Now, let me explain how lucky we are to have this film in our grasp. It is not my favorite silent film, admittedly, but it's a very important one and a film that I do watch every now and again. And I'm very fortunate to be even talking about this film, because the film was originally about 104 minutes, but after that it was cut down to a length that was just barely an hour, which, if you're a silent film fan, you will understand how tragic that is, to see a film get cut down and get butchered so severely, and with the potential to have most of this footage lost. But thankfully, thanks to the persistence of rest of the George Eastman House and other people, and the use of 8 different prints, we have a 93-minute version of The Lost World, which I think is incredible. And just the fact that this film exists should make people warrant buying this, or at least viewing this version. Now, the plot for this film is not very complicated. You have Professor Challenger, played by Wallace Beery, who's actually probably the best actor in this film. I'm not saying everybody's terrible, it's just, for me, he's the most memorable character. But that's besides the point. His character of Professor Challenger discovered a plateau in South America that has dinosaurs, and he wants to gather together a bunch of people. There's an old scientist that goes, the daughter of another person he went with on this previous expedition that went missing. Then there's a newspaper man who's trying to impress his fiancée because she doesn't think he's very impressive. So the journey begins, and yeah, there's really not much else to it. I mean, there's kind of a forced love triangle between the hunter, John Roxton, I think the character's name is, and Ed Malone, and the woman whose father was lost on the first expedition. There's really not much in terms of the story. Like, in King Kong, there are much more memorable characters, if a little bit simple, I'll admit. But the real star of the show are Willis O'Brien's special effects. I mean, the Allosaurus, the Brontosaurus, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, or all those other creatures that are in the film are very impressive to look at. And this film is really cool because you have some of these dinosaurs at nighttime, and you see there's 2 bulbs of light in the eyes of this Allosaurus, and it looks really cool. It's kind of effective. It's not the most realistic effect, admittedly, but for its time, it's rather innovative to, show the eyes of a creature at nighttime. Also, it uses breathing techniques, like Willis O'Brien would have a breathing mechanism inside these puppets, and it would make them appear as if they were breathing, which is very, very impressive. There is also a scene where after a volcano explodes, there is a huge rampage of dinosaurs, which is rather impressive to look at so many stop-motion dinosaurs running. You don't see that too often, and for 1925, that's rather impressive. And that's something that the original King Kong doesn't have, is a large amount of dinosaurs in one scene. And I'm not criticizing King Kong, I'm just saying that The Lost World has that, and that is really cool. Now, I don't want to spoil everything, but most people who have seen my channel probably know this film, and they realize that it's not a T-Rex that attacks the city in The Lost World, it's a Brontosaurus, and the Brontosaurus is the one that goes, stumbling about the city when he's brought to civilization. And it's a bit anticlimactic because you would really want like a T-Rex or an Allosaurus or Meat Eater to go, but considering that the effects are still quite impressive, you really don't mind. And what I'm just stating here is stupid nitpicking. And that's really about it. This was like I said, this was the first silent film I ever watched, and while it wasn't like, oh my god, I must watch more silent films after this, I was like, that was a pretty interesting experience, and a nice little appetizer to King Kong. So, thank you guys so much for watching this. I know this episode's going to be a bit shorter than the other episodes, but it's really not much else because it's a spectacle film. You really have to be able to watch the film in order to understand what I'm trying to convey to my audience. So, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitter. Do whatever you want. See you later, guys.